Oh, yeah. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Thursday Night Top Baits Live for Lake Fork Bass Fishing, all your surrounding lakes. We're going to give you the lowdown of what's going down. Hey, it's winter. Kind. It is like 85 today. We'll talk about that, how it's affecting the fish, and how you can catch them this weekend. All coming at you live tonight from the Your Lake Fork Guide Big Bass Dojo, also known as my garage. Cheers, y'all. It's a Thursday night. Let's get it. Tell him, Ted. Tell him, Ted. Oh, Ted talking to him. I knew it wouldn't take too long to get a comment about the shirt. Yeah, what is going on, y'all? What is going on? What's going on? What's going on tonight? It's a lovely start to December out here in East Texas. The weather's been absolutely beautiful. It's kind of complicated the fishing a little bit. I mean, as good as the weather's been, as awesome as it's been, it's changed some things for the way the lakes are fishing around here and made things a little different. You can still get it done. We're going to talk about all that tonight, tell you the baits, tell you kind of what's going on with the fish, how they're reacting to this lovely weather, and the baits that are working best for me right now, specifically on Lake Fork, and how that relates to other fisheries around here as well. And of course, we're going to answer as many of you guys' questions as we can. So, hey, do me a favor as y'all get in here first. Let's do this one more time, because sometimes the brown water tastes good on Thursday night. So how about a cheers, y'all? Get some brown in that cup, hold it up, drink it down. Let's go. Yeah, boy. So as you guys get in tonight, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, man. Give us some interaction on the post. That's going to help us along the way. Also, drop us a comment. Let me know who we're talking to. Ask questions as we go along, especially towards the end. I'll really answer a lot of your questions. And also, if you don't mind, share this post. It's the 21st century, as my kids just informed me about 5 minutes before we started. Sharing is caring nowadays, folks. You can help me out the most by sharing these posts. I sure appreciate it. What up, Golf Pro? What's up, Vic Pearsall? We already got questions coming in. Let's say some hellos and how you doing to the early risers in the chat. We got Vic Pearsall, of course, Flippin' Jack, Seabach, Junior Figueroa, John Higginbotham, Kenny Gates, Ronnie Scott, Brian Anderson, John Sherry, David G, Steve Chastain, John Spillman, Andy Alphabet, Junior Figueroa, Brad Lamar, 6 Cents Junkie, I like it, Ken Simpson, Express Jack, Ricky Bryant. Yeah, them are the early risers. I'm sure there's more coming in since it started. Big John's in here, Big L. Yeah, buddy. So everybody's talking about my shirt. I keep saying, hey, y'all like my shirt? Hey, the untouchable Death Row Records. Let's go. Let's go. I figured y'all would like that. I wore that just for y'all tonight. So it's winter, like we're headed towards winter time, and we'll just go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and get started because I need to tell you guys about a couple baits before we can go on and keep telling you about what else is going on, because the baits that are working best say a lot about what's happening right now, in my opinion. So my most effective bait on Lake Fork this week, Alabama rig. My second most effective bait on Lake Fork this week, black and blue flipping jig, 1/2 ounce in a creek channel bin. Throwing Alabama rigs around bridges and main lake timber. Throwing the jig in the creek channel bins. Guys, those are middle of the winter patterns. I mean, those are winter as it gets patterns. So that right there tells me right off the bat that some of these fish are already setting up in winter home type of places. Some of these fish have made the transition and are set up in their winter setup that they'll stay in until they go into pre-spawn mode. So we're in what I like to call the fall, well, I think what everybody calls the fall to winter transition is what's happening, but we've moved further through that than we think. I personally believe the water temps are hanging around 60 degrees, give or take, depending on where you're at on the lake. Sometimes it's as low as 57, sometimes it's as high as 62. It just depends on what day and where you're at, but the water temps are hanging right around 60 degrees, and they've been there for a little while now. And even though we're getting 70, 80 degree days, that water's not warming, because the daylight period is shorter than the nighttime period, and these lows at night are getting well below the water temperature. Not so much this morning and tomorrow morning, but before that, the lows earlier in the week were 30s, 40s. So we still had that big down cycle in the water temperatures every night, which is keeping those water temperatures down, keeping them from trending back up. If they would sure enough trend back up, that might change things a little bit. But what's happened is that water is kind of stabilized around that 60-degree mark. And that's kind of an in-between situation for these fish. When that water's around 70, that's like the peak, 70 to 75, that's like the peak of the fall bite. And even, the upper 60s a little bit too. But once it starts getting to the mid to lower 60s, that transitions from fall bite to winter bite. And right now, until that water gets established down in the mid 50s, that's when more fish will go into their winter patterns. But right now, while it's hovering around 60, we've kind of got fish scattered out in between doing a lot of different things, and not a lot of fish doing any one thing it doesn't feel like right now. An Alabama rig is a typical bait to catch numbers of fish on groups of fish, where if you catch one there, you'll catch another one there, on that bridge corner, on that bridge pylon, on that main lake point, whatever it is. You're going to catch more than one in an area with an Alabama rig, usually when you're catching them on Alabama rig. But right now, it's a one-at-a-time deal. I mean, it is a grind to catch these fish. It can still be done. We're catching good quality fish, no doubt about that. In fact, we'll give y'all a little snippet, one I ain't posted. And I do this so often, I take these pictures of these fish, and then I forget to post them. I'm bad about that. But here's one from yesterday. I mean, studs. Like, we're catching some good quality size fish this week. It's not a lot of them, and the bites are one at a time here and there. You're really having to work hard for them. So we're just in between, guys, and there's a few things that you can do. One thing is you can go fish those winter patterns and grind grind out a few bites as you go along doing that with that Alabama rig, with that jig. Get in that creek bin with that black and blue flipping jig. That's working. Get a bite here and there doing that. But a couple other things that you can do that are going to help get you some more bites from some of these fish that are in between and scattered around is you can cover water with a flat-sided crankbait. There's not a lot of grass in Lake Fork right now. It's about 3 foot low. So you can cover a ton of water, and I'm using the Crush Flat 75X from 6 Sense Fishing. Old flat-sided crankbait, real tight wiggle, comes through cover good, gets fish to bite when they're in kind of a reluctant mode because it's got that little tight wiggle. Got that subtle action. Fish are a lot like women. Some of them, you just go up and smack them on the rear end and they like it. Some of them will smack you back when you do that. You need to whisper in that one's ear a little bit, you know what I mean? So, hey, some fish like you to be aggressive, but a lot of fish like that little finesse, little tight wiggle, especially this time of year when they get in that mood. So, that's a bait you can cover a ton of water with, pick up bonus bites. Now, if you ever find yourself getting a couple bites on that thing, what you can do is slow down, or getting a couple bites on anything for that matter. Slow down. It's top secret. Y'all don't tell nobody about this because I don't know that I've ever really given this one away, so to speak, on camera, but this is a top secret bait of mine for years. When the bite gets tough in the fall to winter transition, I've been doing this since well before I was a guide, but I'll pick up a Senko and put it on a 1/4 ounce Texas rig this time of year. God dang, I'm losing. Got a catch in my throat. Catch in my throat here. 1/4 ounce Texas rig, black and blue Senko or green pumpkin. Been throwing green pumpkin a lot on Lake Fork specifically. We went to another lake for a little while yesterday and I put on black and blue. Or I'm sorry, this morning. But on Lake Fork, we've been throwing green pumpkin more than anything else on those Senkos. They give me a little drink of this. Choking up over here. So that little deal right there, and you can use a 5-inch Senko or even a 6-inch Senko on that Texas rig. For years, for me, just pitching that to timber, when it's tough and I can't catch them on nothing else, I've been able to grind out bites and get, be more consistent on the tough days because of that bait. It just catches fish when other things don't this time of year for me. So that's a really good bait. Now, if you're in a lake that still has some grass, and Fork does still have some grass, it's getting so low that the grass is pretty much unfishable. There's not any fish in those depths right now. It's just really, the grass is in a foot of water basically for 99.9% of it. But if you do have some grass in your lake, or if you're going to a power plant lake right now, if you're going to Martin Creek, if you're going to Lake Welsh, couple baits that'll work real good for you, going to be a chatterbait and a trap. chatterbait in a trap, you are in pre-spawn to spawn mode on those power plant lakes right now. And chatterbaits and lipless crankbaits will work really, really well. I really like this lipless crankbait right here. I think this one's called Crycam. It was Crawfish Blast or something. It's just a almost translucent colored crawfish color, but you can kind of get a good close look at that color. Got a little sparkle in it. Orange body with some black stripes. And then white or green pumpkin chatterbaits on these power plant lakes, because those fish are pre-spawn to spawn. Those baits right there, just go winding it, or even in a cold water lake, if you got grass in it, those baits will work really, really well. All right, last but not least, there's one more bait I want to talk to you guys about tonight. Now this is, if you got a beginner, or if you've got kids, or if you just want to go have some fun, you can do something on Lake Fork right now it's quite a bit of fun. You can go out on main lake points and some road beds and pond dams too, but really main lake open water points that don't have any timber on them, stuff like that. Just a wide open point. Use your electronics, graph schools of fish, and you can throw a jig and spoon, and there will be just massive amounts of bait and life and fish of all species on these things. There's not a lot of bass from what I've seen mixed in with these. There is some. We do catch some once in a while by accident, but for the most part, these are white bass and crappie and yellow bass and even a catfish or two, which I don't like catching, but they're mixed in there a little bit, but mostly it's white bass, yellow bass, and crappie. Lots of crappie out on those main lake points right now. I'm not a crappie guide. I'm not a crappie fisherman of any kind. I haven't targeted crappie, and I couldn't tell you when. But I caught a lot of crappie this week because they're out there mixed in with everything, and then there's a couple largemouth mixed in with them every once in a while. But you can take a 1/2 ounce to a 1 ounce slab jigging spoon, just an old cotton cordell slab jigging spoon, and all you do is you graph the fish, mark that school of fish, you fire that bait out there into that school, and just make a cast and just hop and let it fall to the bottom. Hop, let it fall to the bottom. If you do that, you're gonna get your line stretched. Like my kids love going and doing that. It's a really good time. Even sometime as a bass fisherman, this time of year, fall to winter transition might get a little tough. You have to grind on them. We're still catching good fish, but we're grinding. It's nice to go out there every once in a while for 30 minutes or an hour and just catch 25 of them. You know what I mean? Like just get your string stretched and catch a bunch. So something that you can do real easy right now is go graph you up a school on Main Lake Point, throw you a jig and spoon in there, hop it up and down and catch a little bit of everything. And hey, sometimes some of the biggest fish in the lake are hanging around those yellow bass and those crappie trying to eat them, and they will make a mistake and eat a jig and spoon. It has happened more than one occasion for your boy over the years. Stephen Latham in the house. There he is. Big John says, I need to sneak up here. We need to fish. I went to Pines a little bit earlier this fall. Had a good time. Caught a lot of fish on Pines, man. I love that lake. I wish it was closer to me. I'd fish it a lot more often if it was closer. I really like Lake of the Pines. Oh, Porterfield's trying to get me to go to Hawkins. He said, I can guarantee you within your first 5 casts on Hawkins. That's a pretty bold statement there, Cotton. That's a good one. Have I been up at all since spring? Yeah, I've been on Pines, Big John. In fact, I made a video or two there here not too long ago, just within the last few weeks, right before Thanksgiving, I think. So, yeah, we were on Pines and did some good. Was that a jig fish? The fish that I showed a picture of was indeed a jig fish. Caught him out of some brush on a creek channel bend. Is that a hog farmer A-rig? No, sir, it is not. My A-rig setup goes as such. Unhook this thing and show you guys what I got going on here on my A-rig, top to bottom, because I know there's a lot of parts and pieces and components to Alabama rig. So here's the one I use. Smash Tech makes an Alabama rig that is as durable as it gets, guys. This Alabama rig right here is old. Like, it's like 2 years old. Like I've caught tons and tons of fish on it. I beat it to death, smacked it against bridge pylons on cast, and it still holds up. If you watch the video we did a while back on Heath Taylor making this rig, you would understand why. He really takes a lot of care and time, and each component that he uses, he hand makes every one of these Alabama rigs. So really good quality Alabama rig from Smash Tech Custom Baits. The jig heads I'm using are Divine swim bait jig heads from 6th Sense Fishing. They have a screw lock on the shank. And the reason I really like that jig head, because it's got that screw lock going down the shank, and you have to screw that swim bait on there. It takes some more time when you're doing 5 of them. But man, those swim baits, I'm pulling real hard on the head of that bait. It's not going anywhere. Unless a fish bites the tail off this, I'll never have to change this. It'll stay on here as long as I want it to until it's just completely chewed up. And then the baits that I'm using are the 3-inch Divine swim baits. That is Pearl Flash, I believe is what Pearl... It's just their pearl color is what it is. I can't remember what the name of their, but it's a pearl color. I'm using that, but I'm also using the color called Pro Blue. Pro Blue Shad. I'm using that one probably more than I am even that white one. Ended the day in some dirtier water tied on those white ones is why I got those white ones on there, because we got to a little bit more stained water at the end of the day. But mostly I'm using the Pro Blue color, which is really, really good in clear water. What line do I use on my A-rig? I prefer to use 20 or 20. Honestly, the best line to me to use is 20 or 25 pound monofilament line. Just Berkley Big Game Mono, 20 or 25 pound is what I like to use. My video of Ben Milliken was interesting at one point. Did he make it? First of all, that video was a throwback video. That video was filmed 3 or 4 years ago. We do Turn Back Tuesdays every Tuesday, so that's a throwback video. But he said at one point, did he make you upset? I thought Ben made a comment, had expected more. Just no, I don't remember it that way. I certainly wasn't upset with Ben at any point that day. I mean, both he and I both caught fish over 8 pounds. Our combined team bag together would have been like a 30-pound bag. So I don't think anybody was upset on that day. I don't remember anybody being upset. New to the swim bait / glide bait game, can you suggest a reasonably priced swim bait rod? And when the water is cold, but we still have grass, would you throw a swim bait? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I would throw swim baits that have a slower action. So like for a smaller swim bait, I would throw the Whale from 6th Sense Fishing. For a bigger swim bait, I would throw Smash Tech Convict. Both of those have a real more slower tail wag than the other baits their size. And you can fish them really, really slow over that grass, which is what you need to do in the wintertime. Swim bait rod, actually the Milliken Fishing Series rod. I mean, Milliken throws a swim bait a ton, and he has a swim bait rod in the Milliken Series that is a very good swim bait rod. And I think it's not very expensive. I think the price point's around like $100. I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think it's pretty far down there as far as buying big rods go. David G said he finally got out on Martin Creek and Brady Branch same day, had an awesome day, both good fisheries. Yeah, they're both good fisheries, and they fish really, really good this time of year. Like right now, they fish really good. By the way, guys, if you're in the area, we got a free seminar tomorrow at Lake Fork Marina. So if you can make it out, we would love to see you at our free seminar tomorrow evening, Lake Fork Marina. Please come on and hang out with us. Seabach, no, I'm not. Brad Lamar says, how about whale with underspin? Yeah, I just said the whale. The whale's a good bait in the wintertime. The whale swim bait for 6 Sense is a good bait in the wintertime. By the way, if you guys are going to excuse me, if you guys are going to order anything from 6 Sense Fishing, when you do, be sure you go to 6sensefishing.com, use the code Your Lake Fork Guide to get your 10% discount on all orders. Big Steve, I know you can, dude. I've seen some of your stuff in the past. Steve says, I really can't catch a fish within his first 5 casts. And he says, I know you're busy, but I made some videos doing it. When you're not busy, come on out. Yeah, dude, I would love to. I mean, the schedule is tough. Like, I'm leaving town. I've got my kids. I'm noticing my kids all weekend, starting tomorrow. And then I'm leaving Monday and going out of town for 5 days to film content and do stuff. We're actually going out to OH Ivy. And then come back the next weekend is my youngest son's birthday on Saturday. So I got him Saturday evening. After I get back in town, got to do birthday stuff with him. And then go back to guiding on Monday, leading up to Christmas. Yeah, the schedule's tough. The schedule's tough, Steve. I definitely appreciate the invite, and I have seen some of your stuff, and I don't doubt that you can catch them with M5 Cast, brother. I know you get after them. You stay after them hard, bud. I know you fish a lot. What do I think about the Mag Draft 8-inch? Would you throw it in cold water? Yep. Mag Draft is a good cold water swim bait. Sure is. Sure is. I like the convict because I can go weedless in it, and I like to fish in grass when I can. But if I was fishing more open water, that Mag Draft, it's a line through bait. I would definitely wouldn't be shy to use it. By the way, there's a lot of stuff going on at Six and Fishing. I put that video out Monday telling their story. There was so much stuff that I saw when I was there. Like, I wanted to film behind the scenes stuff. They won't let me because they got a lot of stuff coming, man. Like, a lot of stuff is coming from Six Sense Fishing I got to see the development process of it in person, and there's some good stuff coming down the pipe for Six Sense Fishing. Some of the things I can tell you about is we got a deep diving jerkbait. The DD jerkbaits are coming back. I saw all the masters of those. They look really good. And I've been fishing one, and it's really good. I mean, it's almost too good. It irritates the hell out of me because fish follow it like crazy on my live sonar, my active target. I can see fish following that DD jerkbait like crazy. And then they'll bite it sometimes, but for every time they bite it, 10 more times they follow it, and it just drives you insane. But a lot of cool stuff coming, man. Stuff I just can't tell you guys about. I've been sworn to secrecy on. Stay tuned with Six Sense Fishing. They ain't going nowhere but up with what they're doing. And there's a couple things that they're working on that I saw that I was like big eyeing, big time. I'm pretty excited about. Stephen Latham, he's considering going to Ivy on Monday. Hell, do it, man. Come on. We'll be out there. Holler at me if you do. I still got the same number, dog. Cody Mays in the house. What's up, big dog? Goyo Montelongo says, OH is amazing. Didn't find any big ones last week. Excited for that content. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know. Listen, I got to do, and that's something else I got to do this week. I got to do some daggum research because I know nothing about OH Ivy. I'm showing up out there stone cold. Now, I am going to have my Fish Life app package because we got on Fish Life, LYFE, the Fish Life app, we've got a premium package on OH Ivy. I will be subscribed to that. I will be looking at those waypoints that are just getting updated this week because yesterday was the first. So I'll be on top of that deal using that. But I don't have a clue. I couldn't tell you if you have to idle out of the marina. I couldn't tell you where you can run. I've never looked at a Navionics map of it. So I'm going to have to do some research and do some reading and studying and kind of get my mind wrapped around what my game plan is going to be. Because we're going to fish. I'm going there Monday. We might get to fish a little bit Monday afternoon. And I'm fishing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then driving back Friday. So we're not going to have that many days to figure it out. But hopefully somewhere in 3 days, we can figure something out and get some good content for you guys. Because Lord knows what swims in that place. Now, one thing about OH Ivy, it's been beat to death. It's been beat to death since Milliken and the whole Six Sense crew, other than me, unfortunately, went nuts down there last winter. The lake's just been beat to heck and back. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So those fish are pressured. They are, they're pressured. They're highly pressured fish. So they're probably not going to be the easiest fish to catch. But hey, I'm used to dealing with that on fork. So we'll go see if we can figure it out. Timmy Rhodes, we'll do it, man. As soon as we can line it up the schedule, we'll do it. This is a question I've never gotten in all the years of doing this. I've never gotten this question. Best body of water to buy a lake house in Texas, and go. A lot of that's going to be personal preference. So I'll give you a few different ones because it's going to be personal preference on, do you like Piney Woods in East Texas? Do you like the hill country? Do you like West Texas views? What do you personally want out of this? Do you want to be closer to a city? Do you want to be further away from a city? So I'll tell you right now, one of the best ones is going to be Possum Kingdom. Possum Kingdom is one of the most beautiful lakes and one of the most underrated fishing lakes on earth. Period, end of story. It's an absolute beautiful, beautiful body of water. I love the landscape around there. It's in one of that part of Texas, west and south, southwest of Fort Worth, kind of at the top end of the hill country. To me, is probably the prettiest, eye-appealing area of Texas, in my personal opinion. So that's up there for me, Possum Kingdom. Another one you got to throw in there is Sam Rayburn or Toledo Bend, because you can hit either one. Like if you've got a house on Toledo, you can go to Rayburn anytime you want to. If you got a house on Rayburn, you can go to Toledo anytime you want to. And oh yeah, right around that area within an hour, there's several small lakes that are beasts. And you're very secluded, very isolated out there in the Piney Woods of East Texas. Very small town feel. Everybody's very, very friendly around there. I love going down there to Toledo and Rayburn and spending time there. So for me personally, I would probably pick Sam Rayburn just because I feel at home in that area because I grew up in that region of Texas. I love the people down there. I love the atmosphere down there. And I like being away from everything. Like if I didn't have to work and I'm just retiring at a lake house, I don't want to be around a lot of people. Like that's how I'm built. So I would personally probably pick Sam Rayburn. And I mean, listen, it ain't like Fork ain't a bad one to pick. I mean, if you're really into trophy bass fishing, Fork's a really good one to have a house on too, obviously. And with Fork, you're a lot closer to cities. What is your shirt? Maze, don't be hating on the Death Row. Huh? Don't talk bad about Death Row now. Suge Knight put a hit out on you, dog. You can't talk bad about Death Row, homie. Somebody said, call Ben. He's been there talking about OHIV because I'm going next week. Man, I don't do that. I just don't do that. I've never been that guy. And I'll be honest with you, I do better. I find that I do better. If somebody else gives me the juice, they're like, man, this is exactly how I'm catching them, exactly where I'm catching them, I'll go in there and I'll suck trying to catch the fish they were catching. If I can figure it out my own way, I will catch them much better. Now, it does help to have like hey, this area of the lake held more fish than other areas. That helps. Like if you're coming to Fork, be like, man, Birch Creek's had a lot of fish in it. Like if I'd never been to Fork, didn't know any of the creeks, somebody's like, listen, man, Little Caney, Birch, and Glade, those hold huge populations of fish. That helps. Now I can go break down Little Caney, Birch, and Glade, and I can see where I want to fish in there. And it eliminates a lot of water. So that helps. That type of stuff I'm good with getting, and that does help me. But as far as somebody telling me the juice, I don't want it. I don't want nothing to do with it. It honestly messes me up more than it helps me. My man Goyo all the way in New Mexico. Shout out to New Mexico. Hell yeah, that's cool. Yeah, boy. What else is going on? Let's see. Seminar tomorrow night. Be there, be square. 6 p.m. Lake Fork Marina. Rods. We got rods coming. It'll be a little while, but I'm designing some rods with 6 Sense Fishing. They are going to be all American made. American made blanks. Everything's going to be assembled, made here in America. Very proud about that. You guys know how I feel about this country. Fortunate enough to get to serve in the Marine Corps back in the day. A long time ago now. It feels like a long time ago now. A lot of pounds ago. But I love this country. I always have. And so we're going to make an American-made product with a Texas-based company. And we're going to be really proud of the rod we put out. And I went over, I got several of the blanks in my hands while I was at 6 Sense Fishing. Played with them, felt the taper, felt the sensitivity, did all that. And really tried to pick out blanks for techniques that would be the best blank and us be able to get the best price point to you. One thing about going with American-made rods, they're going to be more expensive than if we had them made overseas. That's part of that deal. I don't mind that. Hopefully you guys won't mind that. I'd rather do that and support this country than buy from overseas anyway myself if I can. So they are going to be pricey rods. What we did was try to pick different blanks based on the techniques we're making these rods for. And that way some of them may be cheaper than others, so that you guys can save a little money on techniques where you don't need as sensitive of a blank. So we're trying to give you the best bang for your buck on those, even though they are going to be very high-end, nice rods. And they're going to be very durable, very well built. Like, I'm going to put them through my paces, and they're going to live up to my standards if I'm going to represent them. And, oh, yeah, they're going to have some red, white, and blue highlights because they're going to be very, very America. Very America. We'll just say that. Very, very America. America. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited. It's really cool. Man, if somebody would have told me when I started this guide business that I would be designing my own rod, I probably would have slapped them in the mouth. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And I still don't feel like I ought to be doing it, but I'm honored to get to do it. I'm very proud to get to do it. I'm going to look forward to fishing them. They're going to be good rods. I definitely spent enough time with fishing rod in my hand. I know what I want out of a rod. So I have at least somewhat of, enough knowledge to do it that way, but these are going to be some of the best rods you'll ever find. I feel confident in saying that, no doubt about it. So y'all stand by for those. I'm supposed to get my first samples here not too long from now, hopefully. What's my go-to crank for this time of year? The Flat 75X, for sure, no doubt. Flat-sided crankbaits from now and really through the winter. Hey, get out of there, Alabama rig hook. Got me. Them Alabama rigs will tangle everything up, won't they, folks? They can be kind of a pain to deal with, that's no doubt. So Crush Flat 75X. I throw it in shad colors and I throw it in crawfish colors as well over the winter. But it's a flat-sided crankbait that 6 Sense makes. That's my go-to crankbait this time of year. Who else has got questions tonight? Well, all right. That being that, I guess we'll go ahead and call this thing a wrap, man. Hope to see you guys out at Lake Fork Marina tomorrow night. Get that brown in your cup. Hold it up. Drink it down. Let's listen to Ted take us out, boys. Here we go. Heck yeah. Speaking of America, that just sounds like America right there, baby. Let's go. Tell them, Ted. Yeah. Hey, it's been Thursday night. Top Baits live for Lake Fork Bass Fishing. It's been you. It's been me. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys joining us. Appreciate everything you've done for us. We're going to keep on helping you every way that we can. Hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow night. If we don't, we'll see you next time on here. And, yeah, y'all go catch them up this weekend, man. We'll see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.